The most common types of heli bases that you find on servers or on YouTube are quite large and typically towers, oftentimes fully upgraded to sheet metal and frequently featuring several shooting floors and elaborate roofs. These things might look intimidating to you small groups and solos out there, leaving you wondering how you're ever supposed to be taking the heli. Inspired by the quote, "Perfection is achieved, not when there's nothing more to add, but when there's nothing left to take away," I set out to build the smallest viable heli base I could come up with. First, I searched for a reasonably sized footprint. Through many tests, I found that a shooting floor on a 3x2 footprint is large enough for a solo, duo, trio to engage the heli, while being able to find cover from rockets and evade napalm. Second, in my tests I never felt the need for a second shooting floor, so I decided to work with a single one. Third, I wasn't really sure why almost all heli bases are elevated towers, so I decided to get rid of this conventional wisdom. And finally, I found that if you pay attention to a few engagement rules, even a solo does not require the added protection from upgrading the base to sheet metal. And this is the result. A small, functional heli base for solos, duos and trios. Since the base is not elevated, the entrance lies on the side of the shooting floor. The base is separated in the middle by a window and doors to allow you to take cover from rockets and napalm. These doors can be closed when you need extra cover or when the base is not in use. The windows in the corners are the shooting ports from which you will attack the heli. The glass window allows you to safely check what the heli is doing. The TC and 2 more boxes are found underneath the roofs. A locker and a box allow you to quickly restock and re-equip gear if necessary. Let me demonstrate it in action. Some of you may be surprised how little is necessary to take down the heli. Here I'm using an LR because I took the heli solo. However, tier 2 weapons such as semi-rifle, Thompson or the custom SMG also work well. In particular, if you're not alone and if you keep a few things in mind. Always aim at the rotors. While the helicopter itself has 10,000 HP, the main rotor and the tail rotor only have 900 and 500 HP respectively. Once you destroy both rotors, the heli crashes, and it does not matter how many HPs it has left. Since you cannot rely on firepower like a large clan, you need to make use of this weakness. My recommendations are to target the tail rotor whenever the helicopter flies over your base, and target the main rotor in any other situation. The second thing to keep in mind is, learn when it's about to rocket. When the helicopter flies far away, then turns straight towards your base, it's getting ready to shoot rockets. This is your signal to run to the other side of the base and close the doors. This way, you should never die or even get damage from the heli's rockets. After having fired its rockets, the chopper usually flies right over your base. This presents the perfect opportunity to hit the tail rotor with all you got. Thus, make sure to reload during a rocket run. The third thing to keep in mind is, regularly heal up. When you heal up, only a fraction of the health boost is immediate. The other fraction of the health boost will be applied gradually over a short period of time. If you get hit during this period of time, the healing process stops, meaning that you won't regain all the health you could have regained. Thus, regularly heal up, but only use one syringe or food item at a time. If your health drops too low, disengage for a moment and give yourself time to heal up. Use the doors or the airlock to take full cover from the helicopter's machine gun fire. Last but not least, use pumpkins and corn. Since pumpkins and corn are now coming in stacks of 10, make use of them. The advantage over syringes is that they can be applied while you're doing other things, such as reloading your weapon. I don't have the best aim, yet with this base I managed to take down the heli in about 3 minutes, while only using 10 pumpkins and 6 syringes. As you can see, the damage is reasonable. One metal embrasure got destroyed, otherwise the base is still intact. For the build, I recommend finding an elevated spot. Build a 2x3 with a triangle. Apart from the airlock, build window frames all around the base. and then fill them with embrasures and reinforced glass windows. If you do not have the reinforced glass window BP, replace them with metal shop fronts. Shop fronts have better visibility and durability, but also cost 300 metal frags per piece, whereas reinforced glass windows are only 50 frags each. Since the build is not elevated, we put the TC underneath the roof. This is also a great place for 1 or 2 boxes where you can temporarily store the loot that you got from the heli. The shop front and those 2 doors are intended to give you cover. Place a locker to store extra gear sets in case you get killed, as well as a box for food and meds. Note how all the doors open in a way that they block your movement as little as possible. Sleeping bags should go into the airlock in the center of the base, since the heli tends to target the corners of the base. Of course, this base does not solve the other challenge that you will face as a small group, defending the crash site once the heli gets downed. A tower might give you an edge to control the area, but then, in my experience, many times the heli crashes too far away from the base anyway, so that the defense capabilities of the heli base do not make a difference. In any case, I hope with this build you feel empowered to take down the heli. Have fun teaching it a lesson. Until then, Evil Wurst, out. Good? Heal up. Take time and heal up, right?
here.
Come back here, come back here. There we go. We can
I was
get
like, there's no like. I was like, oh, you need a Zerg, you need a like huge ass heli base. That's how you're gonna take the heli. But all you need is something like this.